Hey everybody, welcome back to After the Island. I'm Elizabeth.
I'm Alex.
And we have Florita with us today.
Welcome.
Hi, thanks.
Oh my gosh, we're so excited to talk to you. I feel like we know you.
Oh, stop. I feel the same about you guys just from watching us from the recent ones.
Oh my gosh, so funny.
We loved you. Like, we loved how you just came into the villa and owned it, and we're best friends with all of the girls. Like, it was amazing.
You just like blended right in. Like you just went in and were immediately friends with everybody. It was really cool to see.
Yeah, I was actually more nervous to meet the girls than the boys, just because the boys are boys, but the girls, I was so nervous. I'm more nervous to meet the girls. I'm actually sweating even harder. But they did make me feel welcome, and I did fall into strong friendships right away with them, especially with Shannon and Trina. And Cash, honestly, almost every single one of them in their own little different way. So I was definitely thankful that they are just amazing girls in general.
Speaking of that, who were your ride or dies in there? Like, if you had to pick three, I would say.
Definitely Shannon, Trina, and Cash. Yeah, those are the ones I normally would always have more conversations with, be alone with.
What about the guys? Which of the guys were you closest with?
So I was actually very, very close with Cinco. I would call him my big little brother. Yeah, he was me and him, we were always super friendly and bubbly. And then also Isaiah, surprisingly, me and Isaiah became really, really close friends. So yeah, sometimes I had to, slap him around a little bit and be like, bro, what are you doing? Stop acting like you're brand new.
Yeah. No, okay, so we've got to dive into this.
Yeah.
Everyone's
okay,
dying to know.
I already feel like I know what you're about to ask me, but
oh,
shoot.
I know.
No, don't worry. You're all good. We are just curious. Well, we saw on your live about you talking about getting out of the villa and kind of switching up your opinion on waiting for Jeremy outside and kind of saying that you're waiting for Korey now. So can you just elaborate a little bit, or what
Update
changed your
us.
mind?
Yeah.
So what changed my mind was because while I was in the villa, I definitely still had those connections with Jeremy, strong connections and all that. And I was also still in the back of my mind always thinking about Korey. That door was never closed ever, not even halfway closed. So that was still going through my mind as well. And the thing is, right outside of the villa, right as soon as I got out of the villa, I was able to see a few more episodes, because I had only seen 2 episodes. And I started to to see, Jeremy, how he ended up things with Trina and how he ended things with Amy. And I was just it's not the right way to go about it. I feel like he could have done a better way. And that is a huge red flag, because what if he would have done the same to me? You know what I mean? And I was a little disappointed that the girls didn't mention any of that. They didn't even warn me. They just said, Jeremy is so sweet. He's so kind. He's finally opening up. And, to me, I'm wow, it's wow, because I'm that person that he's opening up to. So I definitely saw a different side of him where he is so kind. He's so sweet. And then there's also the time when I got to see the episode where he basically called me a liar. And I was just what? I was so shook. I literally was I didn't even think anything of it when I was letting Amy know, because I did think they were friends. And so I told Amy, it was just a random conversation, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just yeah, no, he says you guys are just best friends. And she goes, wait, what? When did he say that? I was today, earlier in our conversation. She goes, are you serious? I'm yeah. And then Shannon was well, aren't you guys friends? I thought you guys were friends. And then she goes, not when he's trying to cuddle me every single day and night or whatever, and still flirts with me. And I'm well, he thinks otherwise. He literally said, I see Amy as a friend, best friend. And I'm all, take it how you want to take it. Maybe he meant you see her as a friend and you can connect with her in a more couple vibe. But I didn't get that from him. He didn't say it once. He said it twice in that conversation. So to me, I took it they were just friends. So it just turned to be a whole new thing. And then he, when I did have a conversation with him, he said, I don't remember saying that exact words, that me and her are just friends. But if I did, and he said, I am sorry if maybe, you misunderstood what I was really trying to say or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, well, I didn't think it was a big issue. It's just the way she came about it was he like apologized. And I was like, okay, because everyone's like, how did you still choose Jeremy over Korey? And I'm like, because in the show, they don't actually show the times where I actually was very vulnerable with Jeremy. I opened up to things that I don't just tell anyone. And he really did respond so well to how I had to say things about like my past relationships. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm sorry. It was like, I understand you. No girl should ever do that. He really did make me feel very comfortable for me to even open up to him. And those were things that just weren't shown on the villa. And I mean, on the show. And that's why I'm like, people think that I just chose Jeremy and that I played Korey. No, I truly had two strong connections with both of them.
Like what you would say attracted you to Jeremy in the first place. Like I'm dying to know what this like initial attraction is with Jeremy, because so many girls have seemed to like him, and I as a viewer like cannot understand it. That I'm dying to know like what it is. Like I need you to tell me.
That is actually a thing, because me, when I was a viewer for the first 2 episodes, I was like, he wasn't even in my radar. I was like, I don't even care to like talk to Jeremy, honestly. Like I went in looking for Korey and Josh. Right. And so when the minute we locked eyes, me and Jeremy, when I said hello and I introduced myself, I was like, whoa, he's tall, by the way, like really tall. And I'm all, this man is gorgeous, like insanely gorgeous, super sweet. I can tell he was shy around me at first. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of cute. But then like as time went on, I'm like, how long can you be shy for though? You know what I mean? So that's why I was more adapted to Korey at the beginning, because Korey was like, I know what I want and it's you. And I'm like, I love the attention. Come and show it. You know what I mean? And Jeremy wasn't doing that for me. So that's when things finally started to happen, when Jeremy was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for what I want as well. And I was like, oh, this is kind of hot. Like, wow, he's actually stepping up now. And that's kind of what I saw in him. And he actually is a genuinely very, very nice person. Like, I don't know why in the villa it didn't seem that way. I mean, on the show it didn't seem that way, but he definitely is a kind-hearted person, and I don't think he ever meant to truly hurt anyone. It's just the way he went about things was not the appropriate way to do it.
Do you think if the girls kind of gave you the heads up on how he dealt with the other situations prior to you coming into the villa, you would have made a different decision towards Korey?
Absolutely, because things like that are huge red flags for me. It would have definitely made me take a step back and think about, wait, would he do that to me? I honestly do think that if the girls did tell me how things ended with Jeremy, I would have been like, I don't like that. I'm very honest and I'm very loyal, and I've been cheated on before. So like, once you lose that honesty, like, I don't think I could ever date you. I definitely would have just always gone with Korey all the way through, because Korey has always showed me pure 100% love and honesty and everything, pure hearted. I thought I was getting that from Jeremy as well.
It's funny how you mentioned that he wasn't giving you, like the amount of attention you would want in like a partner. And that's also something Amy said that she didn't like as well. And I wonder if we'll see that and Trina also said it with another girl now, maybe in Casa, if we'll see that. But do you feel like slighted in any way, that it kind of seems like he has just completely moved forward with the process and not looked back? Like, were you surprised he didn't leave with you?
I wasn't surprised, just because I was surprised during it happened, but after leaving the villa and watching everything, I wasn't surprised anymore, because I'm like, all right, this kid just wants to stay along in the show and meet new girls. So that's also another thing that I saw about it, and thought that that's how he went about things. Like, I do know that, I hope and I feel that he did have strong feelings, and he wasn't just kind of using me to, get further into the show. But, I feel like I haven't seen the 2 episodes, the recent ones for Casa Amor, because I still have strong feelings for Korey, and I don't want to watch new episodes, because I feel like I would get, more emotional and this and that. And so right now I'm like, okay, I need another day or two to actually watch those episodes, because if I were to go on to watch the Casa Amor episodes, I would break down, like seeing him flirt. And also with Jeremy, but at the same time with Jeremy, I'm more okay with it, because I feel like he can move on quickly. Yeah. And it showed from previous episodes. So that's why I wasn't too worried about that. But in the back of my mind, I'm just like, it's selfish of me to say this, but I hope Korey doesn't find a connection. And I'm like, just like, come to me now, please.
To be honest, I'm gonna spoil it a little for you.
Okay.
Jeremy is quite upset for the next few days when you leave.
Really?
So it was nice to
Jeremy?
see. Yes, he's like moping around the villa for quite some time. Just
Oh
to
my
let you
God.
know. But I am team you and
I
Korey so hard that like
Was
it
he
hurts.
moping around with already the girls in the villa? The new
No.
girl?
No,
No,
no.
the OG girls that were still there. That once the
That's
new
what I
girls
care
get
about.
there, yeah. Once the new Casa girls got there, I'm excited for you to watch the scene now. He almost locks eyes with Leslie, and when he makes that locked eyes moment, it reminded me of what you just told me about how you guys kind of like looked at each other and had that connection.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we saw on camera with this new
New
connection.
girl.
But Korey progressed yet. But if he came out with somebody, would you still pursue him?
Definitely. I feel like I would definitely reach out, and be like, if he did come out with somebody, I would still reach out and be like, I'm happy. I hope that you do have a strong connection with this person. But I would definitely let him know where I stand and how I feel about him to see if maybe there is something and he would give me another opportunity.
And you guys
Definitely.
are supposed to go to Egypt together.
I know.
Like,
Did you
are
see
you gonna
that?
do that? Even if he does get a girlfriend and like she comes, would you still go?
No, not if she's there. No, he literally told me like right before I left the villa, he said, remember what I told you? I'm gonna fly to Miami, pick you up, and we're gonna go to Egypt together and this and that. And I'm just like, oh my God, like why?
I want to see that happen so bad for you now.
I am rooting for it hardcore.
Me too.
I do have to ask, do you think when you left and kind of saw the public's opinion on both Jeremy and Korey that has persuaded the way that you feel about them at all?
Not about public opinion, because I've been judged and misread by social media my whole life. So to me, whenever someone says a negative comment about somebody or anything like that, I don't take it into consideration, just because people just like to be mean on social media in general. So, but for me, it wasn't anything that social media was saying. I mean, I did read a lot of the comments where they're just like I said, why would you leave Korey for Jeremy? Like, you're an idiot, this and that. And to me, I was just like, whatever, because they don't understand what really goes down in the villa and what isn't aired. And to me, I was like, in my heart, I purely thought I was doing the right thing in those moments, just because that is how I was truly feeling. It wasn't to hurt anyone or anything like that. So comments like on social media definitely don't bother me, and it doesn't change anything of the outcome of how I feel now. It's more my own opinion, how I feel about it, watching the shows, watching this. So that's why my heads are now turning away from Jeremy for sure.
I think that's what we were really hoping to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, I also think it's because you had the experience in there. You know them better than anyone. And
exactly.
Being able to watch some things that you weren't able to be present for always gives you a little bit of insight as to, like who because you were so in the middle. I feel like you just didn't know which way you wanted to go. And like now seeing certain things, you're like, okay, I should have gone that way.
Definitely. I was very, when it had to come down to me making a decision, I've never been in that situation before. I usually, like I said, I don't know if you've heard, but like I just ghost people, like I don't like to hurt people's feelings because I don't want to view it. And so I feel like if I just don't open up and tell them like, hey, like I don't want to date you, like I just be like, peace out. You know what I mean? But definitely seeing it now, I feel like I definitely have more of a clear mind where I want to stand with Korey and Jeremy. So in that time though, it was very difficult. And now I'm just like, no, I'm 100% Korey, like all the way.
Having an insider, being an ex-Islander and having like an inside look at the villa, who would you say right now you think is like the strongest couple in your mind? And then also maybe like not the weakest, but is there anyone that doesn't feel like they're truly being themselves?
I feel like the strongest couple is definitely going to have to be Shannon and Josh. Just from seeing them in the villa, they've gone through so many ups and downs. They've had tests on tests on tests, and they're still together. So for me, that makes them stronger and that makes them really connect. And there's two, I guess, Will and Kira, and Cinco and Trina, just because Cinco and Trina have been in this triangle thing the whole time. And I feel like Cinco constantly doesn't know where to put his head at. And he's never 100% on one girl. So that's where I think he's the weakest. And then Will and Kira, I just feel like Will is bored in his relationship with Kira at the moment. Like,
Why do you say that?
just like my experience from being in the villa, like I know Colombians. I'm Latina myself. Colombians love a spunky girl, a fun, outgoing, crazy, wild person. And Kira and them, when they were there together, they were constantly isolating themselves and just being super boring. They never like joined the group. And then I think Korey had mentioned, like, I think Will is bored, or what someone had mentioned. And I heard that and I'm like, I see that too. Like, oh my God, it's not just me, you know? And so I don't know. That's in Casa Amor. I highly think that Will is going to turn his head. I mean, I'll probably watch it after this now that I'm having all these interviews and I'm like, okay, I need to watch
Just
it 'cause
fast forward
apparently-
through all the parts you
Yeah.
don't want to see.
Yeah.
Just fast forward through them.
Right?
They never
Like, fast
happened.
forward, I don't want to see it.
Taking a quick moment to hear from one of our sponsors, HelloFresh. During the summer, nobody wants to spend all of their time cooking, and with HelloFresh, you can have dinner on the table in just 30 minutes. HelloFresh's produce gets from the farm to your door in less than a week, which means fresh, high-quality ingredients for all of your delicious meals. This is what their little meal card looks like, and it has all the recipes on the back so you can follow along. Plus, if you want to fire up your grill this summer, HelloFresh has grilling bundles, burger packs, surf and turf packs, and more that make grilling so easily. So just go to hellofresh.com/aftertheisland14, use code aftertheisland14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's hellofresh.com/aftertheisland14 and use code aftertheisland14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping.
I need to watch it.
I have a question that I saw so many people want to know. All of your favorite makeup products. We were obsessed with your makeup on the show. Like, it was unbelievable. You looked runway ready every freaking second.
When I was not wearing makeup, because when I wasn't wearing makeup, I just looked like a 12-year-old.
Oh my gosh, no, you looked stunning at all points.
Thank you. My number one makeup brand that even all the girls in the villa were like, Flower, can you give me that magic powder? It was the Huda Beauty setting powder, the baking powder in banana bread. And all the girls were just like, how is my makeup staying on for so long? I'm like, it's this magic powder. Like, Huda Beauty knows what the heck she's doing with those powders. Because in foundation, I am wearing like Maybelline Fit Me. My bronzer is Fenty, which I love. And sometimes Hoola. I'll mix them depending on how deep I want to go with my contour. I don't really use eyeshadow, and if I do, I still use my Anastasia Beverly Hills one that I love. Yeah, the highlighters, just like simple things. It's just I feel like setting it with that powder makes it stay on and look like almost face tuned, and then setting it off with a dewy setting spray, because then you don't look cakey or powdery, and it just stays on all night, all day long. But I used to be a makeup artist. I used to work for MAC. I used to work for even Macy's makeup department, and I also did freelance for weddings and girls that just want to go to prom or whatever. So I do have a lot of experience from that.
So perfect.
Since I was like young. Well, today
I feel like it's making sense now, because we were like, wow, like we were blown away. It looked amazing. But I feel like
thank you.
last question would be for you, like if you had any regrets and just overall, like maybe your favorite memory.
I think my only regret would have to be, now looking back, choosing Jeremy. But at the end of the day, I don't feel like I really regret it, just because things happen for a reason, and I did what I did for a reason, for something to happen and for the outcome to be, I guess, this, you know. But that's probably my only regret that I would have said that I regret, is definitely that, and making my mistake with choosing Jeremy over Korey. My favorite memory of the villa was, I don't think I have one. There's just so many favorite moments, like Giovanni coming in with the pots and pans, like that was hilarious. And then like me and Korey being super sweet together, just so many amazing moments. But I guess, you know, getting the connection with building so many strong friendships. And I think that's the biggest outcome that I got from this, is that I made genuine friendships with every single person in the villa. And I'm so happy that they're still there. And hopefully, which I know, not hopefully, because I know we're all going to hang out outside. And I told them, everyone's just like, you know, we're going to Miami, this and that. So I was like, yes, we're all going to party. So I definitely am excited to see them outside of the villa as well.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming on here today.
Thank
We're
you.
so excited to meet you.
So happy to get to meet you guys, because obviously I was a huge fan of the show as well. So it's like amazing to see you guys and talking to you guys as well. So I'm like happy that I got to talk to you.
Oh, we love
Aw.
you. I can't wait to meet you in person. I'm coming down to
Likewise.
Miami.
Yeah, we're coming
Like-
to crash this
Yes.
reunion for sure.
Yeah, and I found out Cher also lives in Miami, and she actually
Yes.
worked for the same owner that I work for. So I'm like, oh, dope.
Oh, my
Oh,
gosh, that'll be so
amazing.
fun. You guys will totally hit it off.
Yes,
She's
yeah.
great. So to everyone watching, we will
Yes.
link Florita's socials down below. So make sure to give her a follow to stay up to date
Yay.
with her and Korey possibly rekindling. So we're excited. Alex and I are going to be excited to see
I'm
that.
hoping
but-
for that too. So
Yes, crossing our fingers. But thank you so much again for coming on today.
Thank you. Love you, ladies.
All
We
right,
love
bye.
you. Bye. BetterHelp. If you're looking for professional counseling done securely online, you should try BetterHelp. With BetterHelp, you can start communicating with your own licensed therapist in under 48 hours. Just visit betterhelp.com/aftertheisland. That's better, HELP, to join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And you can get 10% off of your first month at betterhelp.com/aftertheisland. That's 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/aftertheisland.